It's the FNG, sir.
What the hell kind of name is Soap?
All warfare is based on deception. For years, the West's hypocrisy has made the world a battlefield. The corrupt talk, while our brothers and sons spill their own blood. Remember, Silver. But deceit cuts both ways.
Russian authorities claim the attack was orchestrated by an American CIA operative named Joseph Allen.
The bigger the lie, the more likely people will believe it. And when a nation cries for vengeance, the lie spreads like a wildfire.
I'm looking at fighter jets over I-95.
The fire builds, devouring everything in its path.
This is a deliberate act of war against the United States.
Our enemies believe that they alone dictate the course of history. And all it takes is the will of a single man.
Let's do this.
What's up? What's good? Wolf is here, and a brand new Call of Duty trailer just dropped. Literally just dropped about 30 minutes ago. I just woke up and I'm like, oh, the trailer is live. Okay, I don't think anybody knew if they were going to be doing a live stream or a regular trailer on YouTube. Just so happened to be a regular trailer on YouTube. So this is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, what I've heard is that this is going to be like a soft reboot. So I don't exactly know what that means, because we've already had Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare remastered. That came with Infinite Warfare. So yeah, COD 4, just to bring it back just for a slight split second, COD 4 was a groundbreaking Call of Duty for many people. It brought commercial success to where Halo was kind of struggling to bring commercial success. It brought Halo and Gears brought a huge success to the multiplayer market of console gaming. But COD 4 was the one that commercially got over with everyone. This is back on the Xbox 360 days. It's what really sold Xbox Live and really like pushed the envelope for what like modern shooters could do a little bit farther than what CSGO did. And then on top of that, because it did a lot of the same stuff that CSGO did, but on top of that, it also it pushed everything forward into this new generation of just every game should have a multiplayer mode and everything. So yeah, Call of Duty, what it's been for the better part for about a decade. It's been like the driving force behind a lot of multiplayer games that really just try and do shooting in a multiplayer fashion. Also, this last Call of Duty had Blackout, a battle royale mode. So will this game have that? It's probably not going to be shown off here. This is most likely going to be a teaser for the story mode, if there is a story mode. I don't see the multiplayer piece being shown off right now. That's going to be most likely saved for E3 in about, what, 2 weeks, I think we're out from. So let's get into this. It's a 2-minute trailer. I've been already talking for 2 minutes. Let's go. Actual in-game footage. Ghosts? This feels very ghost-like.
The rules have changed. There's a fine line between right and wrong.
Very ghost-like.
And somewhere in the shadows,
That is not soap or
they send us in to find them.
Price.
126 actual. Target is in the main house. You have execute authority.
Captain Price. It is Price.
Bravo 6. Going dark.
Gee.
Victor 6-4, green light.
Chemical weapons are now in the wild.
Foreman copies off.
Guys, hostiles is not intimidated. Get to safety, go!
That's totally, yeah.
We get dirty, and the world stays clean. That's the mission.
That is absolutely COD 4. That was...
Who's your team?
Some old comrades.
Soap. Maybe soap? Wow, so it is... So this is Captain Price right here. A very young Captain Price. So this is definitely a reboot of the Modern Warfare series, which is great. I had been saying on Twitter about a year, maybe 2 years ago, I'm like, you know, we've had World War II, we've had World War I, a time and time and time and time again. We've had the future stuff going, time and time and time and time and time again. Can we possibly get a modern style warfare game and throw in some like modern day, like the old Medal of Honor games used to do, like a modern day operations stories, you know? So real world stories that's been happening in the modern day time period and everything. This is kind of looking like that. So we're seeing a lot of, wow, October 25th also for release date on that. So I'm thinking since this is here, we're not going to be seeing too much afterwards. Yeah, it's more or less just like a wallpaper. Death Strand, you are amazing, but we are Call of Duty mode right now. So this is all actual in-game footage. I am going to mute this for right now. All right. So very, instead of being Ghost 2, I should say, they went with a very kind of Ghost-like mentality with this. So instead of starting it off on the ship, blowing everything up, having the famous aliens line pop up in there.
We are leaving! We are leaving!
All right, so after watching the trailer and having the initial reaction, I clicked on to Twitter real quick just to see like the reaction of everyone else, to see if people are also getting that kind of "but why" reaction. And I came across this article from IGN, and it's Colin Stevens talking with Infinity Ward narrative director Taylor Kurosaki about why the studio decided to reboot Call of Duty Modern Warfare. I'm not going to read this whole thing like word for word or anything, but there is basically my initial reaction and the video that I just end up recording. I literally just hit the nail right on the head, very specifically, but it's basically I just said exactly what he's saying in this. So I'm going to like put it in my own words of like what this game director is saying, my own take on it, I guess you could say. So when we set out to make this game, we asked ourselves, what does the word modern followed by the word warfare mean? That, I mean, that first thing is like, okay, what, right? But that's a very like, you know, brainstormy kind of thing to do. Modern Warfare in 2019 means the theater of war is even less defined than it was back in those first games when they were made. It's more complex, it's more gray, it's less mimics than traditional warfare meant. That is actually a very good way of thinking about it on their part, for especially if this is the game director talking. So when the Modern Warfare series came out, it was very heavily featuring these like movie style moments and everything, where it made you feel like you're inside of like the military shooters that were out during that time. So they're kind of trying to, with social media and more interviews with a lot of real world soldiers, we kind of get that kind of gray. You know, it's not, everything's not black and white. You have an engagement, you do the engagement, then you go back for debriefing. It's not like that, and we've seen that be told from the eyes of the soldiers and from the brains of the soldiers and everything, of like what they went through, firsthand experiences, basically, of what they went through. So it's kind of cool that they're going in that direction. I think that this game is actually going to dive more into like a real world account of all these kind of like war zones that all the soldiers go through. So that's awesome that they're going that direction with it. Speaking of how warfare has changed since 2007's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, that was a game that was sort of built on the aftermath of things like 9/11, Operation Desert Storm, where you saw big phalanxes of tanks rolling across the desert fighting against other enemies that were wearing uniforms and flying flags. Again, that is very much the Hollywood movie version of, you know, what Modern Warfare was at the time. The battlefield today doesn't even resemble that. Any city can become a war zone in the blink of an eye, and because of that, there's more collateral damage, civilians, airstrikes hitting their apartment complexes. So that was our leaping off point to define modern warfare. That's pretty cool, because they're basically taking what Battlefield used to do, and they're really pushing towards that realism, towards the like real world story aspect of. This is what the real world war zone, and I'm saying this, and this is for a Call of Duty game, which is really crazy to think that I'm saying this about a Call of Duty game, and it's not like Medal of Honor, because this is very Medal of Honor-ish in my brain. That's what I'm picturing right now. Looking to make a new Modern Warfare game, narrative events preceding 3 games. So as I was saying in my initial reaction, I think this is all 3 of the Modern Warfare games packaged into one, as like a greatest hits kind of thing of the Modern Warfare series. That's one thing that we've all been like looking at is we know that there's going to be a battle royale and it's going to be like the best of Modern Warfare. Are they going to be packaged in a campaign mode? Just like my initial reaction also, I think that they're rebooting, like a soft reboot, and taking the so by the end of Modern Warfare 3, the Russians had invaded the United States, nukes had gone off, and to continue that storyline would have meant diverging away from what we know as the world we live in today. Yeah, so this is the reason why I've made the argument plenty of times of like, okay, the Modern Warfare series it should be done. You should go on to either Ghost 2 or make a new series or whatever. So instead of making a brand new series, typical Activision Studios kind of way of doing things, they're copy and pasting off from what they did in the past. I guess, you know, if it works, don't try and fix it. Modern Warfare has always been, it just feels ripped from the headlines, sort of, not really, sort of. It kind of, it's like one of these situations. I think Medal of Honor always felt way more of like a, okay, this is something that you kind of read about, and you know, but it was very like redacted in a way. But here's the real story of as much as we can tell of you, or tell to you of it. The human scale stakes left in that world, we believe that bringing today's into a story that feels authentic and gritty and real required to reimagine the series. Again, like that, you know, bring it into like the absolute real world feel of it. Could be very, very cool, very, very fun. It's going to feature some of the original games characters, specifically Price, which we see heavily right there. Does this mean Soap? Does this mean Ghost? Absolutely could mean that we get the fan favorite characters back as a team. So this is not following the events at all of how the old games went. The old villains I don't think are going to be there, but the old team very muchly could. And then we're going to see the team actually, because everybody's been really wanting for years the actual soldier named Ghost to come back. Everybody really loved Soap. Everybody really loves Price. So a 3-man squad, and maybe they add one more person in there. I can't remember. Oh, there was that other guy too that I can never remember his name, but he was like the main character also in the series. Or they go with the British guy or something, you know, because we see, you know, Captain Price is a British soldier, so bring in the SAS, like some new character maybe, to spruce things up a bit. Have a 4-man squad, do 4-man co-op through the campaign mode. Boom. This game sells a million. Reimagining, so untethered ourselves from where the specific factual events of the previous series. What we retained was the essence of the characters that we were playing with, which is cool. So they are, I don't mind that. So that right there, just hearing, here's the thing. When you hear like the directors and the developers actually talk about the project, and you don't just see a two-minute trailer of it, when you see that 2-minute trailer, your mind goes, it goes all over the place. And it's like, what am I looking at? When you start hearing them talking about what their direction is, what their vision is for the project, it starts to make a lot more sense of like, oh, this is where they're coming from. Okay, so that right there, it settles down a lot of red flags in my head of like, you know, why are we getting another reboot? COD 4 has already been remastered. This would be the 3rd version of COD 4, the 2nd and 3rd version of MW2 and 3. Why do we need that? So this is not this is not COD 4, this is not 2, this is not 3. This is something that is like taking bits and pieces of it and mashing it together for a actual brand new experience that is the best of all of them. I am okay with that. I'm actually definitely fine and okay with that. But here's the thing too, like Captain Price's like, badass is the wrong word for it. His determination and his struggle with, okay, I'm getting this order in my headset, but I know I need to go in there and engage the enemy, or some really bad stuff is going to happen. And 9 times out of 10, Captain Price will go in there. He'll ask for forgiveness instead of asking for permission, pretty much. He will just run in and get the job done, and if somebody gets mad at him or whatever, it's like, oh well, sorry, there was lives on the line. So yeah, it confirms that rumors that it's a reboot rather than a strict remake of COD 4, which is very, very telling of where we're at with everything. But yeah, I don't know. It seems like this could be a very solid Call of Duty, a best of what everybody's really been wanting for a long time of the Modern Warfare series, because the Modern Warfare series it got a little out there with the Russians invading the U.S., the White House on fire, burning and everything, and I think that Division already has that covered. Division 2 has the White House being taken over and having military all over the lawns and everything. That's just a joke to Division 2. So that's, I don't know. My feelings on this is still kind of like, it looks cool for single player, but I would love to see what the multiplayer is actually going to feature. I really hope that a lot of the kill streaks, score streaks, and all that stuff. I mean, this is for the multiplayer video, but just a preview of the multiplayer video. Whenever we get that reveal, hopefully we have like modern day tech in the multiplayer, and they can really reboot all the, you know, not just have the same gits and gadgets from the other Modern Warfares, and also in the single player too. Hopefully we don't just have like the quick time events happening that we've seen for so many years in Call of Duty. Hopefully there's something new, they bring something different to the table for both this single player and the multiplayer, And I'm gonna go on a limb and say I would like to see them skip zombies for this game and go with the Spec Ops missions. Bring those back. A lot of people really like those missions, especially when they were like 4-player co-op Spec Ops missions. That could be really interesting to see how they handle something like that. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you liked the video, hit that like button. You can thumbs it up, share it around. Check out my social media. I got a bunch of gaming stuff on there. And if you enjoyed this video at all, then if you hit that subscribe button, you can actually be in the know and stay tuned for all the new videos coming soon. I'll say my old line. And yeah, I will see ya next time.